So, little bit of a status report on Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy. I did not, I started that video and I said, oh, it's a sunny day. We've been blessed with this nice weather. And then Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy struck mid-chapter, and now, as you can see, my camp is just fucked, and it's coming down. There's thunder clapping. So I had to take shelter in my vehicle. And I'm just gonna let what's unfolding out there just transpire organically. I would go try and take care of it, but I'm cold and wet, and I don't want to. So best of luck to Camp Me. I'm just gonna sit inside this vehicle and smoke cigarettes until it calms down. That's how you wait out a storm. You just hunker down and smoke some cigarettes, and then eventually, see? Stopped. That's quite serendipitous. I don't want to push my luck, though, so I'm just going to keep rolling cigarettes until I know for sure that it has worked, if that makes sense. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good chapter until the Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy came. So that's why I kind of rushed it at the end, and hopefully you could hear it. I feel like a lot of my recordings have a high velocity wind intruding. But what are you going to do? That's the world we live in. Do you guys want to dish about anything? Like, dish about stuff? I think it's clearing up. So let's not dish. I have other things to do, like attend to my camp. There are a lot of things that I left out, and as you can see, there is a structure there that is supposed to have a roof. It has a tarp type of roof, and it is missing. I'd venture to say it's somewhere south of here, where the high velocity winds carried it off to. That is a rough estimate. For all I know, it could be southeast of here in the water. I surely hope not, but you can never be too sure. Surely or not. Maybe the winds that are blowing south will change course and blow north. And if it's in the water, perhaps it'll blow northwest and bring it back. That's what I'm hoping for, at the very least. Also, it looks as if that tent that the sponsor me video, after I did that, I made a little supply run, and I got a tent. That also does not look like it's doing very good out there. It seems to have collapsed in on itself. That's what happens when you buy a children's tent for $20. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a little status update on Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy. Back to you in the newsroom. Frank, back to you, Frank. Hey, so I have a little bit of a status report on Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy. It would appear as if Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy has passed. I know that in my previous video, it stopped when I was smoking a cigarette, and I know that the magic happened, and I stopped the hurricane because I was taking shelter, and that's what you do. You hunker down, you smoke cigarettes, and the hurricane stopped. However, I then went to my tent and fell asleep, and the hurricane returned, and my rain fly vanished, and I woke up soaking wet. And also, it would appear as if Hurricane Whoopsie Daisy brought more snow. So, theoretically, if I wanted to, I could go sledding. You know, so not all is bad. The only thing is I don't have a sled. So that doesn't do me much good. But yeah, now I am back in my vehicle trying to dry my blankets with the heater. Because it is supposed to be another 30-degree night here in May. I know, crazy. And I would prefer to not be sleeping with wet blankets, because I don't think that's going to do me any good. I think it'd be much better if I had dry blankets when sleeping in near freezing temperatures, with the possibility of hurricanes that bring snow. I think that you can see it. I cannot zoom. That's snow. Again, I enjoy snow, but I did not bring a sled, so I feel rather unprepared. I also did not bring snow apparel. Why would I have needed that? It's May. You know, but the world does what it wants. I'm not complaining. Kind of makes me think back to Icarus's chapter about Hurricane Marilyn, and how, you know, I know that it's different circumstances. Obviously, that was the tropics. He was in the Caribbean. I'm in the high desert of the American Northwest. His island was brought to ruins. My shanty tarp structure camp brought down, quite literally crumbled tomatoes, potatoes, you know. I don't want to compare the two, but I feel like I've, you know, in telling his story, I am experiencing more of his things that have happened to him, you know. I certainly would hope to not experience all of the things. You know what I'm saying? But it is almost refreshing to tap into him, you know, and have had experienced a hurricane out here in the American Northwest of northern Nevada. Yeah, very interesting. I've never had this occur in May in northern Nevada. But there's a first time for everything, so I'm really relishing in it. I'd prefer if a second hurricane did not come. One hurricane, shame on you. Two hurricanes, shame on me. I may be annoyed if a second hurricane comes. This one, yes, maybe I was a little unprepared. That's my fault. Second one comes, I will have no other ways to be prepared for it. So regardless, there's nothing more that I can do. But right now I am enjoying the heater in my car. I didn't bring a heater because I didn't think that was going to be necessary. So shout out to today's sponsor, Cars with Heaters. Thank you. I have my dinner, you know, here that I'm going to be eating while I dry my blanket in my foot heater. You know, when you turn the thing, it's either blows forward or it blows on your feet. That's what I have it going. It is called the floor heater, and it is drying my blanket. I have wheat thins with peanut butter. I have 6 strands of licorice. And I have this jar of pickles. So I think I'm gonna be eating good. I'm not gonna do a mukbang. I know that we were talking about that earlier. I'm not gonna do one now. Not only because I don't want to, but because I don't want to. That's the yeah, it is because I don't want to. I would rather just eat in peace and enjoy the sky breaking over a new late dusk post hurricane whoopsie daisy. That's a first for me. I've never experienced that. The sky, the sun, the shining through, you know, it's all new to me. So I'm really relishing in it. And I'm gonna keep that rolling. I don't want to make the focus on making grotesque noises while I eat just to please an audience of which watches people slurp noodles. That's not my primary concern at the moment. I will address that in a later video, of which I will not be slurping noodles. I'll be eating popcorn in a movie theater while doing ASMR. That was the original plan. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, that was the weather report, at least. That was my intention. I was just going to do a weather report. I guess I may have done a little bit more than just the weather report, but hey, we've had some time together and I've really enjoyed it. I really want to get to eating my wheat thins in peanut butter. I dip the wheat thins in the peanut butter. I've never tried dipping the licorice or the pickles in the peanut butter, but there is a first time for everything. That seems to be a theme right now. We've had a lot of firsts today. By the way, the north wind never arrived, which means it never brought my roof back to my structure. I'm still hoping that that north wind may arrive. I'm sure I will keep you updated on that. If I have a roof return, I will be more prepared for a second round of hurricanes. If it doesn't, so be it. You know, no sweat off my balls. But once more, check that out. I really wish I had a sled right now, but looking at it is just as beautiful of an experience as sledding down it, I can assure you. Wow. It truly is remarkable. By the way, shout out to my vehicle. I had to save a lot of these things from the flood earlier. When I woke up, I was in a flood. My tent was quite literally flooded. So I saved a lot of these things that I have, you know, like outfits and amongst other things. My lamp. There's my lamp. I don't know what I would have done if my lamp got injured. But everything's okay. Aside from my camp being destroyed, everything is all right. So yeah, that's my status update. Thanks for joining me. I really hope that tomorrow the weather returns to normality, so that we can continue with the chapters of The Stars Above. That's my goal. That's my intention. I'm not very good at manifesting things, you know, but I'm really putting the intention out there. Manifest weather good. Yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight. Manifesting. So, yeah. Thanks again. Ta-ta for now.